Fans, welcome back to Mindful Combat. Before I get into the video, please support me. Support me by hitting the subscribe button if this is the first time you checked out any of my content, and liking the video. And if you don't like it, then don't like the video, dislike it, and just let me know. Let's just get some engagement going. I've also got a personal goal. I'm trying to hit 400 subscribers by the 20th of February, and I need your help to do it. I can't do it on my own. I'm a startup YouTuber. I'm still very small, and I'm still learning the game. I'm getting my head around it. This is a very steep learning curve for me. I just love MMA, and I want to make MMA related content. I need you guys' help. I need your help, and the way you can help me is by sharing this video to as many people as possible that you know are interested in fighting. Don't just get me pity subs. Get me guys that are actually interested in fighting. And if you don't know no one, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to. Just comment below and just engage with me on the video and let me know what you guys want to see. And also, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to a couple of channels, great MMA channels. Firstly, MMA Headspace, who does, and I've mentioned him in a couple of my videos now. He does great breakdowns on fights. He's got great video editing skills that I've got nowhere near his level of video editing skills. So I'm going to put a link to his channel. Check it out. If you like his content, and I'm sure you will, subscribe to his channel. And also MMA Newsroom, who also does interesting content. And if you like what he does, then subscribe to his channel too. We all startup YouTubers, we're all supporting each other, we all got one dream, and that's to talk about fighting. So please guys, support us. Now for this video, firstly I want to give a shout out to Bradford Lad, well that's your handle anyway, and for suggesting I do this video. Basically you said that you would like to know my thoughts and maybe give a prediction on the entire card as it's coming, and that's what I'm going to be doing for this video. So if you've already seen my Francis Ngannou versus Cain Velasquez breakdown, my video, then you know that I intend to give very detailed breakdowns about particular fights. If you haven't, firstly check out that video, and secondly, the way I'll be doing this video is I won't be breaking down the fight by fight in detail like person by person like I did do my main breakdown videos. I'm just going to be going through the cards, talking about the fights very briefly and giving some predictions. So Bradford Lad, this was your idea, so thank you for that idea, and I think this is a great card to start with. So let's get started. So I just written down the card here on a piece of paper for me, so just so I can remember the whole card. So it starts off with Andre Fili versus Miles Jury. That's an interesting fight. I think Andre Fili, the Team Alpha Male product, when he came into the UFC, there was tons of hype behind him. Obviously, he's coming off a loss to Michael Johnson, and he looked pretty damn serviceable in that loss to Michael Johnson. I think Michael Johnson's a good fighter. His record doesn't really demonstrate how good he is. So I think he gave a good showing of himself even in that loss there. Prior to that, he had beaten one of the all-time greats, probably the greatest of all time in Artem Lobov. And yeah, so coming into this fight, it's interesting to think of his last couple of fights. And he's fighting Miles Jury. Miles Jury, who started off his career in the UFC as a 6-0 lightweight, dropped down to featherweight, lost to Charles Oliveira, won back-to-back fights, and then he lost his last fight to Chad Mendes. Miles Jury hasn't been as active as I would have liked to have seen from him, but he's a good fighter, and I believe he's got room to progress. How do I see this fight going? I think Miles Jury is going to take the win on this fight. I think Miles Jury is going to come out here, he's going to take him down, he's going to probably be able to hold him against the cage, take him down. I think he's going to get the W there, and I think that's how I see that fight going. It should be an interesting fight. I don't know how fun it would be, but it should be an interesting fight. Now, above that is a fight that I'm really excited for. That's Vincent Luque versus Bryan Barberena. Now, Vincent Luque comes into the fight with a record of 14 wins and 6 losses and 1 draw. And he's fighting Bryan Barberena, who's 14-5. Bryan Barberena obviously blew out onto the mainstream when he beat Sage Northcutt. And he's kind of alternated wins and losses since then. He's lost to the best guys he's fought in Colby Covington and Leon Edwards after that. Vincent Luque is just coming off that knockout win over Jalen Turner. Prior to that, he had knocked out this is awkward. I forget the gentleman's name, the Canadian guy who won the Ultimate Fighter. So yeah, that was a good win. And and he's coming off 3 straight wins. So he's a good fighter. Vincent Luque is a very good fighter. Even when he knocked out Bilal Muhammad in MSG. That was an incredible performance. He lost to Leon Edwards, but he looks like he's learned from that fight. I think Vincent Luque has got great stand-up, exceptional stand-up. He's got good power, great timing, and he's developing his skills. He's developing his ground game. He's a fighter whose record doesn't do him justice, and I think at this stage now he's virtually unrecognizable from how he started off his career. bit of interesting trivia. He actually beat Thiago Santos earlier on in his career. I think Vincent Luque is going to win this fight. I think he's going to win this fight very handedly, and I think we're going to see Vincent Luque go on to do some very interesting things in the welterweight division. Me and my little brother have actually had some debates about this, and he doesn't actually give Vincent Luque the amount of credit I do, but I think Vincent Luque is excellent, and I think he's going to go on to make some noise. So I think he will easily and handedly beat Brian Barberena. I do like Brian Barberena though, so he can make it tough, and I think this is a great fight to see the scope of potential that he has. Above that, we've got one of my favourites in the game, Alex Bruce Leroy Caceres, and he's fighting Kron Gracie. Kron Gracie is a very high level BJJ guy. He ain't very experienced in MMA, whereas when he's fighting Alex Caceres, who's 15 and 11, who's had tons of experience in MMA, maybe not the level of success that he should have. There was a time when I used to think, oh man, it would be so wicked to see Bruce Leroy to go on a tear. And I always felt like he had some sort of star potential. Maybe it's just me being a fanboy. I really liked him. I loved him on the Ultimate Fighter. Probably one of the last Ultimate Fighter seasons that I actually properly sat down and watched. So yeah, I like Bruce Leroy is the point I'm trying to make. So yeah, man. But I don't see this as being a good fight for him. I think Kron Gracie is going to take it down. I think he will get the submission, and he's going to be. It's going to be interesting to see how his career progresses, but it should be a fun fight. Should be a fun fight because it's a battle of what happens. Now in the co-main event, you got Courtney Casey, who coming into the fight is 7-6, but she's or maybe 8-6. I think she's 8-6. She's a serviceable fighter. She's a serviceable fighter, and she's gotten some key wins. She went in there, had a tough fight with Felice Herrig. She's gotten some interesting wins. She's beating ladies like Randa Marcos. She's a good fighter, and she's fighting Cynthia Calvillo. Cynthia Calvillo is a good fighter in her own right. She's obviously a touted prospect. She come off that marijuana suspension, came back and won. Prior to her going away, she had I think she recently lost to Carla Esparza. Prior to Carla Esparza, she was on a 3-fight win streak. She's rebounded since then, and I think she'll win this fight. I think she's going to take Courtney Casey down. I think she'll be able to get the submission. That's how I see that fight going. I can't say with any certainty that I'm sure about that fight though, because Courtney Casey is a good fighter and she can get the W. And in the co-main event, you got James Vick versus Paul Felder. James Vick was obviously making all this noise about not being able to get the top 15 fighter that he deserved, top 15 opponent. James Vick has fallen short every time he's taken a step up in competition. Now, he got the win over Joseph Duffy, yes, and I give him credit for that. But he just got knocked out in the main event against Justin Gaethje by one punch. Prior to that, the last time he had a step up in competition, he got knocked out by Beneil Dariush. And I don't think this fight's going to go any differently for him. I think he obviously cuts a lot of weight to be at 155. I feel like Paul Felder is a very talented fighter, particularly at 155. Just his last fight at 155, before he lost to Mike Platinum Perry, was against Charles Oliveira. He absolutely smushed Oliveira when he got him down. That ground and pound was savage. So that's obviously a big win. Is aged well as well, because Charles Oliveira's gone 4-0 with 4 straight performances a night since bonuses since that fight. So that's a win that's aged well. I'm gonna take Paul Felder to get a pretty clean knockout in this fight as well. I'm expecting Paul Felder to get the W here and go on and reclaim his spot in the top 15. He deserves to be ranked on 15. So guys, please let me know what you guys think. Comment below, and if you like this style of video, please let me know and I'll do more of these. Obviously, I didn't go into each fight in too much detail. I just briefly talked about it, just gave some brief picks on each of the fights. And I didn't break it down as much as I normally do my breakdowns. But if you like this kind of video, I'll be doing loads more. If you don't like it, that's fine. Just comment below and let me know what you guys think, guys. Thank you, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Mind for Combat.